here. So 50-50 shot, which side is lumen and which side is not lumen?
Lumen.
Lumen? How do you know that?
Because of extra lumen.
Because it's all bulby, right?
You see it.
Exactly. you know what I'm saying.
Looks like stomach, yeah.
What type of epithelium is that? That's the transitional, right? Transitional epithelium. It's the only place in the body that we have it. But see, this is big cloudy epithelium here, so that it's able to stretch, right? So that's my transitional epithelium. So then, and then you see what?
Is that a carrot?
That's smooth muscle,
Smooth
exactly.
muscle.
Right? You have this smooth muscle. So what is that? Smooth muscle, but there's a name for it. This layer here is the detrusor muscle. Yeah, the detrusor muscle. So yeah, so that's the smooth muscle that's going to be autonomically regulated, right, and will contract in order to void the bladder. Right? And then of course you see out here is the serosa there, right, that outer connective tissue. Right.
This is probably a dumb question. So why is there all this? Why
Why
is it
is
just for the movement of the contracting?
So
Like,
some of it is going to be because you can. I mean, in here is where we're going to get the blood vessels and all that kind of stuff, right? And the connective
just see a
tissue, a lot of elastic connective
Yeah.
tissue, so it can stretch. So we don't want one thing we don't want is like a completely solid structure because then it's not going to be as
Yeah.
flexible.
But that's what it is.
But the other thing is you can notice that, see how these are running kind of in this direction, and these are coming up this way, and this one's kind of running. It's because that detrusor muscle is not arranged like longitudinally or whatever, right? And so because of this, it does have to there has to be kind of, these connective tissue membranes between layers of muscles so that it can, so when it contracts, because it's a sphere, it's got to, some are contracting this way, but others are contracting this way, and some are contracting, so that way it can kind of contract down. So look at liver. I don't know. I can't remember which classes I looked at liver with, but here's liver, right? So you can see lobules, right? Individual lobules, right? So they're not all perfect little, stop signs like we draw on the board or whatever. But right, these are the lobules, right? And you notice. So see if I can find a decent little lobule here to demonstrate that. Here's a good one, right? So in the lobule, right, at each of these little kind of corners, right, is where we're going to come in here. And we're going to find portions of my hepatic triad, right? Let's see if I can find one that's really clear, so, or at least somewhat clear. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one, right? So, right, what do we have, right? We know we should have what? A bile duct, right?
Hepatic vein.
Division of the hepatic vein, and
Proper.
or
Body.
a division of the portal vein, I should say, and then a division of the, the portal artery or the hepatic artery, right?
Yeah.
So, in comparing these, right, this guy here, right, it's got a little bit of a smooth muscle wall, so that's my arteriole there, right? So that's kind of a, shucks a daisies. All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
That's
is
it.
the same area.
That is.
Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I mean, I just want to see, real quick if there's one that's. They're all about the same. We'll go back down because we were on that one.
Why is this one not the artery?
That's a good question. Why is that one not there?
I don't know, but it has a thicker wall.
It does have a thicker wall, but what type of cell is it?
The wrong type of cell.
Exactly. What does that look like? What's its shape? Simple cuboidal, right? There's a simple cuboidal epithelium, right? So, do we have simple cuboidal in an artery? No. So that's how, just looking at it, without any type of stain, we can know that can't be an artery because we don't get super cuboidal, right? We get a simple squamous and a little bit of elastin in there and stuff, and so we know that's probably the arteriole, right? Now, So what is this guy then? Simple cuboidal epithelium. Is that what lined the vein?
The duct.
No,
The duct.
it has to be the duct,
Yeah.
right? Those are, I spoke of them in class, these are those simple cuboidal epithelium that line the ductules are what we call cholangiocytes. Those are the cholangiocytes that when you have a reflexive biliary spread of microbes, bacteria, whatever, right? So from the lumina of the gut up into the bile duct and into the biliary tree, these are the guys that are going to get inflamed and infected, and that are going to be causing cholangitis, which is when you have that the triad of the fever, the jaundice, and the colicky, right upper quadrant pain. And so it's these guys, those are the cholangiocytes. These guys actually, their purpose is, the reason that they're cuboidal epithelium is because they actually will concentrate the bile, right? So the bile is secreted by these guys into these ductules, and then here the cholangiocytes will begin to actually kind of concentrate and secrete out some of the bile salts and these types of things, right? So that's the bile ductule. This is going to be the artery, so where's the vein? Right. So yeah, this is probably. This is probably the vein. It looks a little weird to be the vein because normally the veins, especially venules, are probably going to collapse, right? So, but the fact that we see something weird in the middle of that makes me think, maybe not. But we know that there has to be a vein in there somewhere. So, that may be it. But it is a little bit difficult to kind of tell for sure if that's what that is. I mean, I almost want to say that this line right here is actually a collapsed vein because that looks like squamous epithelium. You can see two different nuclei, so it'd be like squamous epithelium. If that vein's kind of collapsed, then that might make sense. But regardless, so there's the hepatic portal, right? So if you kind of look at this, you can see how there's all the pink cells. Those are my hepatocytes, right? They're going to be filtering the portal blood. Right? They're fed by hepatic artery. Okay? And so we know that the portal blood is going to come in and it goes into these sinusoids. So that all those white lines that you see running through there, those are sinusoids. Right? And look at where they're all going. They're all doing what? Moving towards the middle, which is my central vein. That's the central vein. So this is going to go into the vena cava. Right, so this is the effluent from the hepatic portal, right, into what will become the vena cava. So this is going to leave, and so like all these central veins are going to leave, and they're all going to be connected to places like here, where we got a hepatic vein. That's a hepatic vein, not a portal vein, but a hepatic vein, because it's draining these lobules, and it's going to be going out to the vena cava, right? So then the other thing is, so we've got portal blood from here draining through the sinusoids. All these little pink cells are filtering it, right, and all this kind of stuff. And that's going here into essentially the vena cava, through the central vein. So what's the other thing that these cells are doing? These hepatocytes are also making what? Bile, right? So there's no way to differentiate them here. So those white lines that you see, some of them are sinusoids going this way. Others are bile canaliculi going that way, right? Because these hepatocytes will line like, let's just pretend like right there is a bile canaliculi. It's lined by these hepatocytes. So they would be secreting bile into that, which now is going to be running this way out towards my bile ductule, right? So it's kind of a bidirectional flow there of bile.
So are these just central
These
as
are
well,
going to
just
be
bigger?
these are going to be more. So this one is venous, right?
Okay.
So this is going to be a hepatic vein, right? This is likely because of its size. All of these lobules are feeding into this hepatic vein, which means that that's probably one of my segmental hepatic veins because there's 8 segments. Mm-hmm. So this is like one of those larger ones that's going to be leaving a segment going into the vena cava. So like this guy would eventually feed into that guy, which is then going to feed into the hepatic veins into the
Okay.
inferior cava. Yeah, so a lot of bidirectional flow there. Right?
Cool.
So, but there's the lobule there. Okay?